Lamelo Ball, being in Charlotte this long and having his best year yet, posting numbers of over 28, 5, and 7, is an absolute travesty. The 23-year-old not named an all-star after putting up only 20 points his second season getting in. No way in hell is anybody taking Pascal Siakam over Ball. From a mid-pacer squad, despite being a great player on a terrible team, coaches tend to give spots to inferior guys on better teams. While there could be a debate between him and Darius Garland or Evan Mobley, Cleveland has 3 total, being the number 1 seed. Ball's popularity with fans does not translate to winning the coaches over. The perfect example of Bradley Beal 2020 when Washington had just 13 wins. Charlotte now only 12 wins absolutely hurt his case. Many of the coaches likely have no idea he's putting up these crazy numbers. Being a funny entertainer along with his family brand, there's no way you would think Adam Silver would leave the most popular guard in the East off All-Star Weekend entirely. Although the game means absolutely nothing, it's the recognition that only matters, and talent-wise, there's absolutely not 12 players in the Eastern Conference better than Lamelo himself, the number 1 guard fan voter, not very well liked by the media, already painted as the primary ball handler on a bad team. Viewed as empty stats, seeing clips of his ridiculous shot attempts and instantly getting rubbed the wrong way, there's not more than 5 players in the association who hits tougher shots on the nightly basis than the 23-year-old. Charlotte hasn't made the playoffs in nearly a decade. That's also why they never talk about solid number 2 pick Brandon Miller, who had his second year cut short with injury. The only Lamelo engagement the media will ever talk about, him trying to be traded or convincing him to get out of Charlotte. Perhaps after Brown retires, will Melo demand a trade to Los Angeles, already creating mini Showtime in bottom shelf Charlotte? A franchise that might never win a title in our lifetime, it'll be a huge uphill battle to climb given how terrible these all-star games been. Could you imagine Lamelo and Ann Edwards trash talking, going at it one-on-one? There's one example to save the diminished, looked down upon product. No way, no chance, no how is Lamelo the 7th best guard in the East when he's been top 5 in the whole league from an individual standpoint. If Lamelo was on a team like Chicago, he guaranteed to get in. The only real results Hornet fans look forward to this season, besides wondering where they end up in the lottery, if their franchise star was gonna be a 2-time All-Star, the result only leads to more disappointment. Trae Young, the most disrespected star player in the entire association, only since he plays for the most mid-franchise imaginable, already doing something, never even having an all-star teammate in his 7th season, dragging his underdog squad to the conference finals by year 3, something Joel Embiid can't do. Year after year, he's literally the Eastern Conference mid-2010s Dame Lillard from getting snubbed constantly, blamed and criticized for his inefficiency and reckless style of play. We're talking about a guy who's single-handedly keeping the Hawks afloat, averaging a league best in assists on a team that got rid of DeJounte Murray, a supposed all-star years ago who hasn't been relevant all season. Trae already painted as a losing player when in reality, there's only one other guy in his 2018 class who's accomplished more, and that's Luka Doncic. While SGA the better player now, Gilgeous-Alexander still hasn't made a conference finals. No other player from his draft class has gotten so many mid guys paid more so than the 26-year-old. Players like John Collins and Kevin Huerter, what they've been doing since after leaving the ATL, you tell me. The emergence of Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, who's out with a season-ending injury. What about the much improved DeAndre Hunter, all hooping because of Trae? Guys like Jaylen Brown, almost guaranteed to be an all-star due to Boston's team success, the reigning finals MVP, individually not really a better player than Trae, especially when there's hate amongst the coaches circles. Lloyd Pierce used to call multiple coaches years ago, warning them to not vote for Young. Fired shortly after, being one of the assistants on Team USA, there's a reason why Trae never gets called during the summer. Low-key blacklisted, having multiple 20-point, 20-assist performances, he's legitimately an all-time great passer and likely finish his career with over 10,000 dimes, assuming he stays healthy the next 7 years. Doing things on the court not seen since Stockton. One of the most underrated and overhated players in today's game, he's a clear proven star, but non-stop gets talked about being a defensive liability. After Dominique Wilkins' tenure, Especially throughout the 21st century, Trae Young by far the best player to put on a Hawks uniform. Given the ups and downs, his reputation last couple years, being an all-star snub, screwing up his player resume, should be a 6-time all-star already. It's an absolute travesty how many continue disrespecting Trae. Domantas Sabonis. His team early struggles, along with the firing of Mike Brown, made Sacramento unlikable, but the 6'10 big man absolutely continues being a triple-double dread. Numbers of 21, over 14 and 6, 61% shooting, was arguably snubbed last season too, beaten by the younger Alperen Şengün, having a star caliber season of 19, 10 and 5. His Rockets much better than Sacramento. If Domantas were to get in over Şengün, many be complaining 0 All-Stars on the second seed is an absolute travesty, 100% true. But you could also have the strong argument Curry, based on his season production, doesn't deserve to start over Anthony Edwards, but given Steph's popularity, being an NBA icon, almost impossible to not have him starting. This could be 2 years in a row Domantas don't make the All-Star team, but will get All-NBA honors, leading the league in double-doubles, 3-point percentage, and rebounds. Sacramento likely won't make it past the play-in this season, but were the 5th seed last season, being 10 games over 500 when neither him or Fox made it, giving J-Dub the inferior player, but due to the huge gap in team success, winning as the number 1 seed will always be prioritized. Sacramento likely won't make it past the play-in this season, but were the 5th seed last season this time around, being 10 games over 500 when neither him or Fox made it, giving J-Dubs the inferior player, but due to huge gap in team success, his efficiency only gets taken for granted, always has good shot selection, still improving, only Jokic makes better decisions at center. Only way Domantas makes another All-Star team again, sadly demanding a trade if Anthony Davis can't suit up. Sabonis absolutely the first replacement, otherwise it'll be yet again an absolute travesty. Kyrie Irving, nothing but positive vibes for the 32-year-old, keeping Dallas afloat since Luka's been out over a month and more. Only been an All-Star 2 times the last 6 seasons, one of the most spectacular players, but just like Trae, not an A-level superstar, so he won't get special treatment, just like how he was badly punished for not getting vaccinated, unquestionably dismissed from the top 75 player list, during the height of the Nets saga. Lots of great guards out west. His snub, not as bad as Trae or Lamelo. Harden giving the Clippers a fighting chance without much of Kawhi. Understandable he gets in over Irving. J-Dubs playing for number 1 OKC. The main reason many voted him above Kyrie, but others don't agree with that. Absolutely shocking. No All-Star selection from a team that made the finals 8 months ago. Irving also averaging more points than Steph Curry. And Dallas has a better record than Golden State with major injuries to the team. Of course, Curry's way more popular and beloved. Irving missing 10 games absolutely hurt his case. Honorable mention Norman Powell having a career year, a legit case for most improved player at age 32 by season's end. At the very least, Mr. Over 43% shooting from deep deserves a crack at the 3-point shootout. Although he's been incredibly efficient and Harden hasn't been, it's the beer who controls and runs the Clippers offense, allowing guys like Zubac to also have a career year. Harden being more impactful, not even a question. Powell on pace to become the oldest player in league history to average 20 plus points for the first time in his career. All the grind and 6 a.m. workouts during the summer absolutely paying off for a player who's only averaged 13 points for his career, viewed upon as average league talent. But all the extra work proves there's no ceiling too high to reach, even if many believe you reach your peak age. But the great ones always find ways to make better improvements even as they get older.